Okay, folks. Well, today what we've got a new amplifier to work on, and what I'll do is I'll show you what it looks like. It does need recapping. It's got some paper and oil caps in it, along with some other things. I've already looked them up online and placed an order and got the parts. So hopefully I got everything. Ordered a bunch of electrolytic capacitors. Essentially just looked in the build sheet. It's actually not a Heath kit, but a Knight. If I remember, it's a KG-854 model amplifier that you could build at home just like you would with the Heath kit. I don't know if this one was built that way or if it was done at the manufacturer in the factory, but position the camera and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so here it is. As you can see, it does have some damage on the side. A few wood chips there in the veneer, which probably what I'll do is maybe just get some wood putty, fill that in, and then don't know that I'll refinish this at all. If anything, I'll probably just give it a nice little wax, a little light cleaning. It's a nice wooden cabinet. And take a look at the front. So there's the front in pretty good shape. A few scratches there on the wood cabinet again, but no biggie. So we'll do a little left to right action here for you. Pretty clean. And it is a Focus KG-854 transistor stereo amplifier by Knight. A little bit of wear there on the power switch, to be expected. Okay, so what we'll do now is I'll reposition the camera and we'll try to take a look at this thing, open it up, see what we're dealing with, and depending on what I see there, maybe we'll even power it up and see if anything pops or not. Okay, here we go. Turn it around. And we have two screws on the back holding it in. Looks like we got one missing. So maybe somebody's been in here. All right. Let's take these off, or at least one of them. Already got a baggie over here ready to go. See if I can do this without dropping it on the floor. Okay. I think the way this will come out, so I think the cabinet will go that way and the actual unit should come out the back. There we go. Okay. Set this aside. All right, now, so what we have, a little dusty. I hope you guys can see what I'm looking at here. Sorry for jiggling the camera. We've got two can caps, two more can caps here. Wow, that's loose. It's just crimped in place. Oh wow. Oh no, okay, never mind. Oh, I saw a bad solder joint. Doesn't look to have been messed with. We got a couple of paper caps here. I'm checking on the ends of them to see if they've blown out at any time. They don't look to. They don't look to have done so. I don't see any holes in them. Those will, I mean, there's no question they'll have to go. I've seen them before. And if you've ever watched anybody on YouTube working on stuff like this, those paper and oil caps, they're terrible. drift until they become a resistor, and then they blow, and then they take other things with it. So these, let's see, what value are they? Very dirty. I've already got my bag of parts here, so I know what value some of these should be. 2000 microfarad, 50 volts. And that should be the same, which we're just going to replace these with some standard through-hole electrolytics. And I think what I'll do is use a piece of what I call tag board. And probably mount it to the base here and hang the caps off of that. Here, I'll show you, there's actually a piece of tag board in here. A couple of them. I don't know if you can see. I don't know. Need to get better camera set up. This is what we got for now, though. There's a piece right there, a piece right there, and those look to be what are they? Selenium diodes, I think. So those may come out. We may put in some silicon diodes. But yeah, as I'm looking, I don't think anybody's actually messed with this. That looks original. There'll be more under here. I already looked at some videos online, some pictures. This cover will come off. And if I remember correctly, the tuning cap is under here. Let's see. Selector switch. Wait a minute, what am I saying? Tuning cap. It's an amplifier. So there'll be, not tuning cap, but maybe tone controls, I think, are in here. Tone circuits. Bass treble. Maybe they did that on this board. All right. So we'll have to get these off, get this cover off, and then we can start taking these out. We got on the bottom. So here's our output transistors. Okay. Feeder in place. Oh, nice. So there is an access panel, I assume. Hopefully it's the whole entire bottom. Yeah. Of that PCB that's under here. So that'll be nice. All right. Well, one thing that I said that we could maybe do, if everything looked good, is plug it in, give it some power, and see if it smokes or not. Prefer not. I don't usually like doing that. I usually just go ahead and start, well, we'll see. All right, yeah, let's plug it in. So we're gonna use a dim bulb, which I believe you can see, which is plugged into Variac. And I think I've got probably too big of a bulb for this. It's a 100-watt bulb, and this thing is, does it even say? No. Yeah, should be all right. Plug that in here. And I think what I'll do is I'll start out 0 on the Variac, and then we'll turn it on, turn on our switch for our dim bulb, and then just increase the power till we get to 120 and see if anything happens or not. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. We got our dim bulb in, switch is off, turn on the Variac. No display yet on here because, well, I don't think you can see. Maybe we can reposition a little bit. There we go. All right, you probably won't be able to read what's on the display, but we'll go forward anyway. I'll let you know what we got. Now just display won't light up until we get to probably about 45 volts or so. That's just the way this meter works. So meter is coming on. Flashing on, we're at 30, 32, 35, 37, 39, 41, 43. Nothing happening. Keep going up. 66, 70. Keep going. Not seeing any power draw yet. Well, you know why? Because I haven't turned on the dim bulb yet. Let's start over again. All right, here we go. Dim bulb's on. Okay, start again. Going back up. Wouldn't be YouTube if something wasn't going wrong, would it? Okay, now we're at 30. 41, drawing 0.04 amps. So what was that, 40 milliamps? Not much happening. 55, 58, 62, 64, 68. Don't see anything going on. Nothing bad. 85, 93, drawing 0.1 amps now. All right, 100, 104, 0.13 amps. Nothing crazy yet. 112, 113, 117, 118, 120. 0.19 amps. Well, good. Don't see anything crazy happening. Don't have any light coming out of our bulb. It's not even warm. All right. Well, let's say we put a meter on the outputs of this thing. See whether or not we got any voltage. Check and make sure we're not putting any DC in our speakers, which we don't have anything hooked up, but we may do that. Let's see what happens. All right, let's grab a meter. DC, we say. There we go. Okay. We're on volts. Maybe we'll go to millivolts if we don't read anything. So let's see, left speaker. 116 millivolts, 118. Not great. 139 on the right channel. So let's go to millivolt setting. All right. Yeah, 118, 114. Jumping around a little bit. $140. Well, probably wouldn't hurt a set of speakers, but I think we'll hold off till we get some new caps in here. I think what we'll do is we'll probably start out with replacing, we'll replace the power supply caps first. Get these paper and oil caps out. We'll start with the big boys first. Okay, I lied. So I can't not just see if this thing actually works and whether or not anything's currently wrong with it other than probably having some really terrible capacitors. So I got some, hopefully, copyright-free music playing. I've got the amp connected to a couple of speakers. that I don't care too terribly much about. There we go. And we're just going to throw the switch and see if we get anything. So here we go. So power is on. Of course, the phone is going off. This is an old phone. Not using it anymore. It's just for playing media. So we have a light on. Volume's turned down. Let's turn it up, see if we get anything. Oh, here's something. Maybe we turn the volume up here. Yes, I know listening at high levels can damage your hearing. Shut up. Come on. Oh, obviously we have to get a commercial right now. But we are getting audio. Skip. Come on. Try again. There we go. So this thing works. Let's see, I believe I hear both channels. That is the left speaker playing, but I believe I have to turn all the way to the right, unless I hook something up different. Let's see. Oh, I do. I have that set on the right. Okay, whoops. Yeah, that one's working. Although it seems like it might be softer. No, maybe not. It's just whatever this music is. Where's my center? Should have a dot on the knob. There it is. Okay. Wow, can't believe it. This thing's playing. That's great. Treble. A little bit of noise there on the treble control. It's to be expected. All right. What about bass? Or song ending? Seems that way. See if something. Yeah, here we go. Something else. Again, this is just copyright-free music, hopefully, so that we can listen to something. Fidelity doesn't sound too great, but I'm sure that's probably caps and possibly this 12-hour music video, it looks like. Doesn't sound bad though, really. Where are we at on volume? Maybe a third of the way. Now halfway. Really don't want to push it far. But it works. All right. Well, awesome. I haven't decided how I'm going to do these caps yet. I talked about doing using some tag board possibly. I may on these larger ones here, these can caps. I might try stuffing them. I've done that before. Not sure yet. I really would like it if these would just fit right back where they, were to begin with, rather than have to go through drilling and all that kind of stuff and trying to locate where I want to put the tag board. It's a lot of work to stuff caps too, because then you got to fill them with something to dry, to hold everything in place. I usually use epoxy, but you can use hot glue, you can use all kinds of stuff, I suppose. All right, well, cool. It's working. All right, we'll shut it off and get back to it here in a minute. Okay, so it's been a little while. Got some updates for you. I decided against restuffing the caps. more trouble than it's worth. If it was something that they were going to be exposed and you'd actually see, then I'd probably go ahead and do it. But these are, inside the unit. Can't really see them at all. So I figured, what's the point? The only person that's probably ever going to pull this cover off again is either me or the next person that works on it. Most likely not the user, which I may keep this for a while. We'll see. I think it's kind of cool. But as you can see, I've already pulled these can caps here. The two that were right here, these were 2,000 microfarad, 50 volt, and they actually tested pretty good. They tested around 2,200 or more instead of the 2,000, and they didn't seem leaky. They were all right, both of them here. This is the same one. They were same type. They were extremely dirty though. This whole thing is. I mean, obviously it's old and it's got a vented cover that fits over it. But I think that the previous owner was probably a smoker, because not only were they dusty, but they were also kind of grimy, like they were covered in nicotine or cigarette smoke. So anyway, those were kind of okay. I may stuff them and use them on a future project, but not for this, not now. These caps here, this one is a 1,000 microfarad, 15 volt. This guy, if I remember correctly, well, let's see, we might be able to just go ahead and test it here. I almost couldn't get anything out of it if I remember. Let's see. Leads are kind of thick, don't really want to fit. Popped out. Maybe we'll just hold it. So this tester, I've got a couple of these, but see what it says. 39, I don't know if you can see that or not, but 39 picofarads. It's supposed to be 1,000. And it's not giving any other information as to whether it's what its series resistance value is, or as to whether it's leaky. So yeah, this is bad. And I think it said 33 on the other one, so garbage. And this one here, I want to say this one measured as a diode. This is also a 2,000 microfarad and I thought it was 50. It's 35 volts. Neither one of these look like they vented. This one may have done something. I'm not sure what that is there, but let's see what it measures real quick. If that will stay good enough for it to read. Yeah, measures as a diode, and it gives a capacitance value of 0 nanofarads. So, not sure how these were doing anything and how this thing was actually working with these installed, but it was. So, I'll show you how I mounted the replacements. Hopefully you can see. I know this isn't the best camera angle, but I do have these mounted on tagboard strips, like I mentioned. Maybe I can pick this up a little bit, see if that's better. So there's two 2,200 50 volt or 2,200 microfarad 50 volt electrolytic capacitors there. The two that were the paper and oil caps down here, I replaced them. They were, the smaller of the two was right here, the larger one was right here, and they've been replaced. They actually wired in over to this board with their long wires on it, or leads. They attached to this board here and here. Well, the replacements are a lot smaller, and they actually will fit. I've already put the cover on and tested, but they actually fit inside the metal cover right here on this amplifier driver board. So why mount them in here and have them look out of place, wires going to them, when they'll fit in there and nobody's ever going to see them. So next thing we got to do, I think that's all the large electrolytics that we need to worry about. The rest of them are, I think the biggest one's maybe 200 microfarads. And I think we're going to use, what I bought was 220 microfarads. That's the closest value you can get nowadays. Got one here, I believe. Yep. And a couple there. And then obviously there's a bunch more electrolytics on there that we'll replace as well. So I think what I'll do, oh, wait, I got two more electrolytics I forgot about. Two more big ones, these two. So I think I'll replace them just like I did these here with some tie strips or tag strips. And I believe I have, I think those are thousands, 1,000 microfarads. I don't remember if I bought some or if I already had some. I know I already have some, but yeah, nothing in here of that size. So, what's those? No. Okay. So yeah, what we'll do then, those are two 220s. I bought, apparently replaced, yeah, those. Okay, so I'll have to dig in my stash over here and I'll replace them. And probably not going to bore you with doing those. It's going to take a few minutes to do them. I got to take those out, drill a hole for the actual tag strip to go in, and then we'll also figure out which way I want to mount those depending on their size. I will do probably a time-lapse video on the amp driver board there. I can access those pretty easy from the back, and I think that will probably go a lot simpler and a lot smoother. So we'll do that then. All right, so I'll get back with you here as soon as I can. Okay guys, so I've got another update here. I've finished doing the two electrolytic caps, these here, that were located in that position there. And just did them like I did those there with the tag strips. Got it mounted right there. I mean, it's amazing how small caps have become compared to what they used to be. These are 1,000 microfarad, yeah, 1,000 microfarad, 50 volts, and same thing right there. You could fit, you know, what, 10, 15 of those in one of these. So now what we're going to do is move on to recapping this board here, which I believe is your driver circuit. It drives the main transistors down here on the bottom. And we'll try and do a guess we'll try and do a time-lapse video on doing those. So we'll get that set up and get that started, and we'll start working on it. Back soon. All right, so here we are. It's been a little while. About a little while, I mean probably a couple of weeks actually. So a lot of things have happened. Got a lot of updates. So changed out all the caps on the main PCB here, and I have to admit that originally, I know I said that I think at the beginning of the video that it sounded good. It didn't really sound good. It was pretty much all mids. There was no bass, there was no highs, but I was hopeful, and nothing really changed as far as sound quality wise until we got to this board here, and that's mainly because that's your preamp section, and a little more, but it deals with your tone as well. And all these caps, just about all of them, were way out of spec. Most of them were 2 times their value, and leaky. I think one of them was like 3 times its value. Something to add to that is one of these caps here, which I want to say it was either C25 or C35. I forget the number of it. But there was a problem with that one, and I didn't realize it at first. What I was experiencing is in between video takes here, I wasn't getting audio, I noticed, on both channels. I was only getting on one channel, and I thought at first that it might be the mono stereo switch, so I cleaned it, but that wasn't it. And so I kept going, and I thought, well, I'll figure it out as I go through, and I figured it out pretty quickly. What we found is that one of the caps, which I like I said, it was either C25 or C35, the lead was broken off of it on one side. And it's weird because I found that if I had it in mono, I would get audio on both channels, but if I had it in stereo, I would only get audio on one channel. And that was because this, if I remember correctly, is after the stereo mono switch. And so the amplifier section, preamp section really was okay. And it would amplify audio if audio was given to it. And that happened when you put it in mono instead of in stereo. So I knew that pretty much everything else within the circuit was good, that it was something, more towards, the beginning of the circuit. So anyway, like I said, all those caps were bad pretty much. One of them, like I said, was like 3 times its value. So got that taken care of. This thing sounds great now. I like it a lot, actually. So much so that I'll tell you something here when we get probably to the end of this segment of the video. Let's see, I wrote down some things here I wanted to talk about because it had been a while. Oh yeah, clean the knobs. They didn't come out the greatest. They're not bad. They just still look a little dirty. They're not supposed to be shiny. They kind of have not a brush look, but it's just a dull look to them. They are solid metal, I will say that. They're not steel. They're most likely aluminum. And even though they're aluminum, they have some heft to them because they are solid. But, they look okay. They look good. They do what they're supposed to. Another thing I did is I waxed the wooden case. I tried to fix I shouldn't say fix, tried to stop those chipped areas from chipping any further. I put a little bit of putty on there, and I probably could have put another layer of putty on there. Wasn't really trying to refinish the thing or anything. I just wanted to stop it from getting any worse. And but after I did that, I did wax it, and so I'll put that on here in a little bit, and we'll see how nice that looks. But yeah, we got let's try and see if we can do. Oh, I wanted to show one thing. So some of these other caps on here, these 200 microfarad caps, which you might be able to find a 200 microfarad cap, but why would you? We just use 220 nowadays. This one is bad. It doesn't even measure anything anymore. It did. I don't remember what it measured, but it did. Like I said, it's been a couple weeks. But this one here is another 200 microfarad. And just to show you how bad these are, hopefully you'll be able to see this. That says 524.1 microfarads, and it's 6.8% leaky. ESR is not too terrible, 1.1 ohm. So this is, like I said, a 200 microfarad cap, and it's over, 2.5 times its actual or rated value. So yeah. When people say, why do a recap if it's working? Well, it was kind of working, but it was not working to the best of its ability. It didn't sound as good as it should have. It didn't have, like I said, it had all mids. It didn't have any highs or lows, and it didn't really have any volume either. Whereas now it does. So I doubt it'll come through on camera, but let's see if we can get some audio to play here. But I doubt you'll be able to tell, much difference from before. Got this ancient old phone here we're trying to play music on. All right, so let's see what we got here. Royalty free, copyright free music, hopefully. So that was about halfway. Now this is rated at, I think, what was it, 17 watts? They call it the 854, and the 54 stands for the IHF wattage value, which is, kind of BS.
but it does specify in the assembly manual that you can find online that it is 17 watts RMS per channel, which is what we kind of want to hear. The root mean square um, continuous output power value is what we're interested in. So there you go. It sounds pretty good. I think what we'll do next is we'll probably go ahead and do a wattage test. I'll have to get everything swapped over for that. I also need to put the covers back on. There's a metal cover that goes over this right here, basically shields it from any outside noise. And I have a bottom cover I have to put on, and then of course the wood case. So I'll do that. I'll get it set up so that we can actually listen to, well, not probably listen to, because nobody wants to hear 1 kilohertz tone, but we'll put a tone through it, and we'll see what the output wattage is, and then I'll reveal something to you at the end of that. All right, be back in a sec.
Okay, guys. So let me show you the setup here. So once again, we got our load resistors, 8 ohm load resistors. We have the amp hooked up here. We got range up here. We've got a 1 kilohertz tone feeding into the amp just through auxiliary. I'm at 1 volt amplitude, and we got our oscilloscope here, and we're going to read what voltage we get. Can't really get the camera to see everything at once. You probably, I don't know, I guess I'll keep you up here so you can kind of see the waveform. But let me lock the camera in here. You don't fall on me. There we go. Sorry about the waviness. All right, so we got everything on. So really all we have to do is just turn the volume knob up, and we'll see that both signals track pretty well. And I'll separate them so you can kind of see. See, that's the second or right channel going down, and I'll line it back up with the left. There we go. And we'll bring them up until they start clipping. Around 13, they get kind of goofy. It'll start to clip, and sometimes it'll kick in almost like it's current limiting, and it'll drop down. So if we count our volts per division, we're on 5 volts per division. So 5, 10, and then just to call it safe, we'll say 12. It's actually at 13 right now, but we'll go with 12 because at 13 it wasn't very stable a moment ago. So at 12, you got 12 squared over your impedance, which, I mean, we're using resistors rather than speakers, but still, we'll get close enough. So 12 squared divided by 8 ohms, that comes out to, what did I say it was? I think that's 18 watts. So yeah, you see it jumping there. It's a little unstable at 13. So we'll drop it back down to 12, and then it gets kind of happy. So yeah, so about 18 volts. This thing's rated at 17 per channel, so we're getting 18 per channel. So that's pretty good. This thing is older than I am. It was made in, if I recall correctly, 1964. At least that's when they were selling them. So I was born in 77, so it's a bit older than I am, and it's probably working better than I am. Of course, it's had some repairs, but let me get this thing with the cover back on it, and then I'll show you how it looks that way, all nice and waxed up, and then I'll show you the the other thing that I mentioned earlier. Back in a moment. Okay, guys, so now you see the finished product, and it's a little fingerprinty, but I could give it another wax, but that's just from me touching it and setting it up here. But as you can see, I've done a thing. One is not like the other. So I've got a second amp here. It's a bit of a step up from the
the first one. We have the 854, and then now we have the KG-870. So 17 watts per channel, and if I remember correctly, 27 watts per channel. So yeah, that's our next project, is the KG-870. I think that one might be a little bit worse for wear as far as internals. I see something through the top flopping around in there. Looks like a capacitor is not screwed down anymore. The cord is really short and has an 18 of days secondhand aftermarket, whatever you want to call it, plug thingy. So that's exposed. So we'll be replacing that. So that'll be next. I'll see you soon.